The hospice I work at is more than just a place for the dying. It's a place steeped in an eerie, unsettling history. It was once a children's psychiatric facility, and now every inch of this building feels like it remembers the pain, the suffering, and the souls that pass through its halls. Upstairs, where the hospice now stands, there's a suffocating weight in the air, like the building itself is alive, holding onto memories that it can't quite shake. And it doesn't help that the downstairs, where the PACE participants stay, there's a quiet, almost mournful energy that lingers, wrapping itself around every corner. I've worked here for years, left for a while, and recently returned. They remodeled last year. A fresh coat of paint meant to usher in a new era. But it didn't feel like a new beginning, no. Something's changed. Something's different. The newer staff, those who've never experienced the strange things that happen here, don't seem to notice anything odd. The lifers, the ones who've seen it all, now claim they haven't noticed anything strange either. But I know better. There are still whispers in the halls, little things that don't make sense. Like one of the girls downstairs who swears she hears the sound of children playing. Voices echoing through the empty halls. Voices that shouldn't be there. My grandmother was once a patient here. She stayed in room 38 just before I started working. She was here for only a few weeks before she passed. At first, I thought little of it, but soon I started hearing other coworkers mention the same room. Family members who had stayed there too. One night, I was sitting with a CNA when the RN came down to speak to us. "Can you help with a patient in room 38? They called the desk, but all you can hear is rustling. We exchanged confused glances. There was no patient in room 38. We shrugged it off and went upstairs. As soon as we stepped onto the floor, it hit us. The air was thick, like it was pressing in on us, making it hard to breathe. We opened the door to room 38 and stepped inside. The chill in the room crawled over us. The hair on the back of my neck stood up. There was no one there, just an oppressive stillness that made it feel like we were being watched. The silence wasn't just odd, it was wrong. We didn't say a word as we left, both of us too unsettled to speak. Months passed, and the incident faded into the back of my mind, until it happened again. Same CNA, same sinking feeling. The RN came to us again, this time telling us the patient in room 38 called again, said his name is Derek, and was asked if someone was going to check on him. Neither of us have heard this name before, but again, we exchanged the same look, the one that sends a chill straight through your bones. We didn't ask for more details, even though there weren't any more to give. Later that night, an RN who had been haunted by occurrences asked me to stay with her. Her eyes were wide, her voice shaky. "I keep hearing knocking," she said, fear in her tone. "It's like someone's knocking on the door, but there's no one there." She sat by the staff entrance, looking out through the frosted glass, her breath fogging up the pain. I could see her eyes lock onto something, or someone pressed against the glass, their form distorted, but clearly there. We rushed to the front door, hoping to find someone on the other side, but when we opened it, there was nothing. We went back inside, but the knocking started again, louder, more insistent this time. We checked on the patient in the room next door. She was fine, still awake, unbothered, but not the one knocking. We decided to go back to the office. That's when we heard her call out, "Come in." none of us answered. And then there was the night where a patient passed away right as our shift was changing. 2 back-to-back admissions were scheduled, so we were in a bit of a rush. We finished the post-mortem care, but in our haste, we forgot to open the window. By the time the funeral home arrived, the room was cold, unnaturally so. It felt like something else was trapped in there with us, pressing against the walls. We finished up, sat down to chart, and then the emergency broadcast sound blared through the room. No weather warning, no alert, just that sharp, jarring noise rattling the walls, filling the space with static and fear. It only played once. No announcement followed. We tried to dismiss it, but the weight in the air lingered. Later, I went to grab food for the staff. When I returned, the pager was going off. It was the unmistakable sound of bathroom call light. But the patient in that room was bedridden, incapable of pressing the button herself. We went in. The call light was hanging loosely, the cord yanked down, but the patient was fast asleep, undisturbed. So we decided to leave. But a gnawing sense of something wrong crawled up our spines. The same thing happened again in another room, with a different patient. That's when we remembered we had forgotten to open the window after the patient's passing. So we opened it, and just like that, the strange occurrences stopped. For the rest of the night, there was nothing else. But then there are times where we'd be doing our rounds, and the patient we just checked on would be gone, vanished without explanation. One night, as I was talking with a nurse at the center station, I saw a flash of light in the foyer. It was faint, like a glare of a door opening. There was no one there. The other girl saw it too. We went down to check, but when we opened the first door, the bed was empty. We hadn't even started our rounds, and yet the patient was gone. We told the nurse, but she didn't believe us. She just checked on him minutes before. But when they returned to the room, the bed was still empty. Sometimes it's not just the building that's haunted. It's the very souls that linger. Their whispers threading through the air like ghosts of the past, reaching out from the beyond the veil. You don't need to believe in ghosts to feel them. You only need to be here in the quiet moments when the air grows thick, when something stirs in the dark, and you'll realize the past doesn't just stay behind its walls. There's something undeniably unsettling about hospital-like settings. Whether it's a hospital or a hospice center, they always make me feel uneasy. I think the root cause of this is the walls themselves. They've witnessed the final moments of countless lives, carrying an eerie weight that lingers in the air. That lingering presence is probably why these places creep me out so much. But that's today's story, an experience that solidified my discomfort with hospitals. If you enjoyed it and want to support the channel, a like goes a long way in helping this video reach more people. And if you're not subscribed yet, but want to stay up to date with my content, be sure to subscribe and hit the bell notification so you never miss an upload. Lastly, if you have a chilling experience of your own and would like me to narrate it in a future video, drop a comment below and share your story. Thank you for watching. Until next time, take care and stay safe.